What's up, bro?
Hey, how you doing?
What the? What was that?
What?
Why you so formal?
I can't try something new.
No, bro.
Nah, keep it in the video.
Keep it in the. I'm cutting this out.
It's cute.
It's not. What? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of ZnT podcast, or should I say another segment of ZnT podcast. The topic we're gonna be talking about today is if you can go back in history and change one event, what would it be? What would it be, bro?
One event in history. Can it be personal? Or
Yeah,
does it
sure.
have to be like major?
Nah, it can be either a major historical event, like World War II or some shit, or you can just talk about something in your personal life.
Man, fuck World War II. I don't give a fuck about them. Anyway, I'd go back in time and keep my moms from dying, man.
Keep your moms from dying?
Yeah, that's real selfish.
That's a heavy topic right there. But before we go into that, my event would be to stop the Africans from selling from buying salt from the Europeans for 1 pound of gold for 1 pound of salt.
Bruh.
But your topic, bro, that's some heavy stuff though. But why that specific thing in your life though?
I always wondered, you know what I'm saying, what life would be like with my moms right now. I probably have way more freedom than I already do.
Way more freedom?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
My aunt and my mom were real close. I mean, my uncle was close with her too, but my mom really looked up to her sister. And a lot of the things that my cousin got to do growing up, I couldn't do because my mom wasn't there. My dad was, you know what I'm saying, real protective over his kids.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying, like my aunt was buying her son condoms. My mother was like 14, 13, 14.
I mean, she I guess she knows the climate.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
The kids nowadays and all of that.
And he wasn't ugly. I mean, I'm job buddy, like hideous. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. You beautiful, bro. Don't ever let these females lie to you, man.
I appreciate you, buddy. You cute too. No homo.
Hey, man.
For all of y'all in the chat that's going to be like, yo, you guys are
homosexual.
gay for each other. What's wrong with showing some love to the homie? Anyway, let's get back to the topic. She really looked up to her. And I feel as though I could have, I'm not going to say get away with a lot of stuff, but I could have went out more, probably. I would have taken the transportation a lot more. I would have been more independent.
More independent?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like your mom would have given you that freedom that your dad wouldn't have?
Yeah, like
your dad was more strict.
Up until, I believe, 10th grade,
yeah,
I was getting driven everywhere. I had to wait for my dad.
The rich boy.
I had to wait for my dad to, you know what I'm saying, get home before I could go out and shit and have fun and do me, chill.
I remember that, bro.
My goodness.
I remember that.
I ain't start taking the bus and for real, my friends taught me how to take the bus. I started taking the bus in 10th grade, man.
Dang. But I guess I can relate. Because, I guess mine is the opposite side, though. Because I guess I would wonder what it would like to have a dad in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you had that more strict.
But my dad was African, bro. So my man expected way too much from me, bro. Damn, can I live?
Can you live? Well, with my mom, she was strict, but I feel like, I don't know, just growing up, I gave my mom more trouble than she deserved to have in her life. Like, I wasn't the best person. I believe I changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if I had a father in my life, I guess I'd have that structure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but my mom did the best she could. And I love my mom. Shout out to my mom, you know, greatest in the world, in my opinion. But, you know, she did all she could. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you need the other parent there. Like, you would need your mom so that she could be like, yo, you tell Mr. Naposa, be like, calm down. Let him live. Let him go out and take the bus. Let him go out and be with his friends, have his independence so he can learn how to take care of himself instead of just taking care of the people in the house or, you know.
Having a father No, my fault. For you,
Mm-hmm.
having a father, not having a father, but you had like male role models in your life. That's two different things, right? Having
I didn't
role
really
model.
have too many male role models. Like I grew up around women for the
Mhm.
most part, and that's why I tried to have like male friends, but I had mostly female friends.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I didn't really have too like I didn't have uncles and stuff like that. I have like one uncle, and he lives in what, like New York or something, and I met him like once.
Mhm.
I guess I had my granddad, my step granddad and my actual granddad, but I didn't like grow up with my actual granddad and my step granddad. He was working for the most part, so
Yeah.
it was just basically I was learning from women how to be a man. So I guess they grew me, in what they expect from a man.
Mhm.
Because I think that's the role of like the mom. The mom is supposed to be like, you're supposed to treat girls a certain way, and you're supposed to learn that from your mom and from your dad.
A mom is there. I feel like a mom is there to help you get in touch with your soft side.
Yeah,
Get more in tune with your feelings.
but I guess that's how it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
But like for me, I didn't I wouldn't say I got in touch with my soft side or anything like that. Because you know how I am, right? Like I try to be emotionally there, but it's very hard for me, especially because of how I grew up and the environment. But I would say the women in my life did their best to, but I guess because of all the trying to get my emotions out there, but at the same time, growing up in that environment where, it wasn't really that much of a grounded structure, I kept moving around and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
I had to toughen up earlier. So even though they were trying to get that soft side out of me, because of my environment or everything around me, I got more enclosed.
Mhm. I feel as though I should have been way more independent, seeing as how I am the oldest out of three,
Yeah.
and I didn't really have an older brother to look after me.
Mm.
You saying your situation was kind of like that too, right?
Yeah, I ain't really.
You had to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
In that form, I was independent, right?
Yeah, I get you.
But I don't know, man. I just
Well,
feel like it could have just been way
I wouldn't
better.
say I didn't have like older.
You had older cousins.
I had older cousins.
Nothing, no one that was in the house every day with you.
Yeah, but I had. No, what I'm saying is I had a cousin. Like we grew up in like my house was here, my grandma's house was here, and then his grandma's house was right next door. And
Oh,
shit. So
okay.
we was always next to each other. But the difference is, even though I grew up with them around me, like when I went out to school, we didn't go to the same schools and shit like that. So I would see him in the afternoons and stuff like that. And then we go to work. We went to work on the farm and stuff like that. But then I also experienced with other cousins betrayal. So I had to toughen up because I went to school with some of my cousins, and they acting like they ain't know you and shit like that. And then when you get in like an altercation, like say a fight or something,
You expect them
to have your back because y'all family. But at the same time, these niggas like, nah, these are my friends. I'm not trying to have you ruin my school life. And I'm like, bro, we're blood, or even if we're not blood, our parents married each other.
Nah. You gotta go back and you gotta see him.
No, I ran the fade with him already in front of his so-called friends that he wouldn't help me for. I beat his ass in front of his friends, but
Exactly.
but at the same time that ruined like looking up to somebody for me. You feel me? I still have my cousins who I rock with. I always rock with them. I love them niggas to death. But at the same time, I keep my distance for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah. But how do you see it like playing out if you do bring back like your mom or something like that? Yeah.
Well, like I said before, man, I'd have way more freedom. I'm not gonna say cry more.
Cry more
I'd probably pay attention
to others,
to people's feelings more than I do now. I'd consider putting myself in their shoes more. Me now, I don't care about too much shit. You know how I am. I really don't care about too much shit. If it doesn't affect me in any way, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's the same way. But now I'm thinking like, we came out like we're very similar in a lot of aspects in our life, in the way how we say we don't really care about much and all of that. But at the same time, we both grew up like, you lost your mom at a young age. I lost my dad. But we lost like the opposite parent. But we still ended up kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say was the reason for that? Like, why do you think our minds developed into this now as men? Even though we lost like the opposite parent, would you be like?
Even though we lost the opposite sex parent.
Yeah. That's like, it's crazy to think about. It's like, do you need both parents in order to
Pave your own
get
way.
like a functional human being? One that's not like
Nah,
like us.
there's some folks out there who's striving with, you know what I'm saying, one parent.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like we strive with just having one parent, but I'm saying we're not very sensitive to people's.
Maybe it's because. Damn, what was I about to say? Maybe it's because seeing our, even though we lost the opposite sex,
Yeah.
we're like, damn, what can we do to, you know what I'm saying, make it easier on them?
Yeah.
That's probably how it is.
Yeah. From a young age, my mom would come to me with like issues that she was dealing with.
And all you had to do was listen.
I had to listen, and in my head, I'm trying to come up with ways that I can help my mom, like make it easier for her.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was like, that's why when I went from like in the Caribbean, I told you this multiple times, but we don't have middle school.
Mm-hmm.
It goes straight from like elementary school to high school.
Mm-hmm.
So after when I got into high school, which is basically like the start of middle school throughout like my high school years, I started to step up, and I stopped like trying to misbehave. I tried to do better in school and all that, because I got sent to that terrible school, even though I wasn't supposed to, because I scored well on the exams. But that's potato. They just sent me there because of my behavior. But I had to take that into account to take stress off my mom, because she working hard to provide for me and my little sister.
Same way with my dad. I think I promised him I wasn't gonna fight anymore, and I think what grade was that? It had to be about 8th grade or something. Yeah, it was 8th grade. I just wanted to take a lot of stress off this man, because he was working 2 jobs at the time. You know what I'm saying? He got to feed 2 kids on his own.
Yeah.
Minimal help. I mean, his English was kind of bad. My grandma kind of helped him, you know what I'm saying, fill out paperwork and shit. But other than that, he was paying for most of the shit.
Well English now.
Nah.
He be cooking people up and everything, boy.
That's funny as shit.
That's hilarious.
But because I loved the man, we had our ups and downs and shit.
Yeah.
I think it was just because it was 2 males in the house. He wasn't really home like that. That's because he was working and shit.
Yeah.
I had to watch my sister. That shit. She swear up and down. I gotta ask her right now, you know what I'm saying, who took care of you the most in that motherfucker? She lied like a motherfucker. Said, no, it wasn't me. I was like, goddamn, I was beating your bullies, motherfucker. Shit. She don't know that, though. I mean, if she watches it right now, she'll know. But my sister, you know what I'm saying, put her business out there. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, man.
But, like,
don't do this.
She used to have problems at school. And I'd have to go and be the big brother. You know what I'm saying? Knock some heads loose or whatever the fuck.
Well, but my sister is kind of different. My sister, like, we used to mess with her, me and my cousins. My aunt, one of my aunts, really helped my little sister, right? Because my aunt, she did kickboxing and stuff like that. So even though she was messing us up, she was also teaching my little sisters how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister, who I grew up with, she can fight. So I never really had to always go over there and stuff like that. The only time the family would have to go is when the teachers was like, oh, she might have been in the wrong. And I'm like, bro, my sister don't pick fights with people.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah, that's the way my sister is. Like, the one fight my sister was in, she won. Everybody else was mad at her. My dad mad at her. He trying to whoop her and shit. My grandma mad at her. My dad used to take after he whooped us, he would take us to our grandmother's house, and then we get whooped like 2-3 times, man. Anyway, I was happy as shit. I was like, yeah, lolly, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Congratulating her and shit on her fucking accomplishment and shit.
Hey,
but I had to teach myself how to fight, man. My dad was like, he used to get into group fights and shit. You know what
Same
Togo.
boys.
So he would tell me I shouldn't fight, but if I needed to, swing first, make sure that motherfucker connect.
Nah,
But I basically taught myself how to fight. It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I learned how to fight from the experience, because when I moved from Jamaica to St. Martin, another Caribbean island, my first day of school, them niggas caught me lacking underneath the steps. they jumped me underneath the steps for no reason, bro. I was new.
Nah, son,
So the next few days I had to catch all of them 1-on-1. You feel me? But I squashed the beef with them. But I don't know. I'm cool with them niggas now. But we had to tough it out when I first got to the school. That's besides the point.
Fucking initiation and shit. see what he about.
See what he about. It was basically grades going against grades. So like grade 1 versus grade 2 and the whole 9 yards. But all right, so how would it affect us today? Like if you had your mom was here right now. Like, would you call on her more?
Yeah, I'd call on her. My mom had plans for us way before, you know what I'm saying, even before she died and shit. You know what I'm saying? She left us a little piece of, you know what I'm saying, change and shit. I could call on her about anything. The way kind of how I do my grandma. You know what I'm saying? I talk about grandma, you know what I'm saying? I talk to my grandma about my sex life.
Yeah, that's the way how I am with my mom.
I could talk to my moms about that shit, and she wouldn't get fazed by none of that. I'd be like, yeah, mom, you know what I'm saying? I had this girl this way, that way. Some bullshit like that.
I would be telling my mom
nah, man,
nothing like that. But I tell my mom everything that's happening with me. I'm not afraid to talk to my mom about it. But I don't be cursing in front of my mom, even though she be watching these podcasts.
I can curse in front of my moms.
Nah, bro, I can't.
I can't curse in front of my dad, though.
Nah, it's a respect thing for me, bro. I respect my mom too much.
So you trying to say I don't respect my mom's beat?
That's not what I'm saying, fool. I'm saying y'all relationship different from ours. Like, especially when you're raised in the Caribbean, you don't be cursing in front of older people.
I don't curse in front of my grandma.
Yeah, it's like I curse. I curse around my friends and stuff like that. But I ain't never gonna curse around the women in my family. I don't really care about the men in my family for real.
Fucked up, dog.
I mean, they should be able to defend for themselves.
These niggas gonna listen to the podcast.
I'm like, what's good?
Remember what Martin was talking about? They're gonna be like, man, fuck Tyreek when he dies some shit.
Yo, nah, it's not like I don't love the men in my family. I do love the men in my family.
You just hold the women
I just hold the women.
Pedestal?
Yeah, because the women, they struggled more. They've been through more, and it's my job now as a man now to protect the women in my family. I don't care what nobody says. The women in my family is like #1 priority. You feel me? But yeah, they've done way too much for me not to repay them with at least that, like the respect that they deserve.
Right.
So I don't got no beef with nobody or nothing. Like, I don't got no beef with none of the men in my family. I love them niggas. You feel me? But I just hold a woman to a higher standard. But hey, I'm gonna go back to my freaking.
Yes, nigga. Damn, bro. I was just about to ask you, motherfucker.
Nah, I just wanted to get more into that because it was very interesting that's the way how your mind went about it when I asked the question. You took it more personal. But if we're gonna talk about the history thing, the reason I said I'd go back and change why the Africans was buying a pound of salt for a pound of gold. I don't know why they were doing that. I learned this in AP World History.
Oh, smart man. Motherfucker had to list the class he was taking.
Hey man, I'm better than most people, bro. I just have to let them know.
Talk your shit, nigga.
But nah, so like that was just crazy to me. And the reason is, like, if you don't have knowledge on certain things, you can be taken advantage of. You feel me? Like salt, I understand it was a preservative. You can preserve your foods and stuff like that. It's like a commodity, especially back in the day in those days. But gold? A pound of gold?
Did them niggas know how much gold was worth?
They didn't know. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
so they got taken advantage of.
Yeah, they got taken advantage of.
So basically, they didn't have the knowledge. Was this one of the first times they got into contact with them niggas?
Yeah, it was like
they never really.
Yeah, they were like, we have so much of this. They just had so much gold, and they were like, you know what? It's like when Mansa Musa went across Africa, and he was just giving out gold to people.
So can motherfuckers really get upset about how, you know what I'm saying, the Africans was really treated? Not.
What you mean?
Listen.
What you about to say?
Dog, listen.
What you about to say?
Just somebody got. All right, so they got y'all motherfuckers about to be mad, dog. All right, they got taken advantage of. Right?
Keep in mind, this man right here is African. His father's from Togo.
Yo.
But continue to say what you about to say.
Can you really get upset? Well, yeah, you can. Matter of fact, I answer my own question. Fuck all that. You can't get upset because you got played, bitch.
That's not what I'm saying. The reason I change it.
I'm talking about the people today, you know, and they like, Africa was such a rich country and all that shit.
Yeah, but no, a lot of their riches got stolen, but they were tricked out of a lot of it as well. Like,
don't be upset because you ain't had a knowledge about this shit.
But can you really blame somebody for not having knowledge?
Nah.
About something?
Nah. But come on now. Come on.
Come on, bro.
You ain't go outside the... All right, fuck all that. You ain't steal that shit back?
How were they supposed to steal it back?
I don't know, nigga.
The Europeans had the better militia. So
run them ones back in the day, nigga.
Run them
ones, B.
Nobody was running ones back in the day, bro.
Niggas
it was run them 200s versus 100.
God
damn, or something like that.
All y'all niggas better be, them 100 niggas better be elite, motherfuckers.
But why I chose that event is because Africa would have been a way bigger powerhouse today, if you think about it.
If they kept all their shit.
If they kept their money and they just advance, like try to advance themselves to catch up to the Europeans, they'd be the powerhouse of today.
So only if they had knowledge about the gold.
If they had knowledge about the gold and like how much it was really worth, they could have been the powerhouse.
So you would go back in time, like, look,
stop what you're doing.
Y'all fucking up.
I'd keep my germs to myself and be like, hey, don't do this.
Nah, yeah, you're right, man. Your germs would wipe that shit out. Wipe out the whole motherfucking civilization. Jesus Christ.
How do I see it playing out? I see like
with some Wakanda shit.
Yeah, bro. Well, not to the extent of Wakanda, but I feel like they could have paid for more technology, like what they were lacking. You know, one of the reasons slavery started was because one of the kings was like, hey, he asked the Europeans for gunpowder.
And they just traded
and
humans.
they were trading humans for gunpowder. So it's like, imagine if they had some of that gold. They'd be like, hey man, we'll give you some gold for some of your gunpowder.
Yeah, then we wouldn't have these problems today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we wouldn't be struggling with so much stuff.
So that's how it would affect today?
Yeah, that's how it would affect it. Africa would have been the powerhouse. Africa would have basically been the America of like the 90s.
Of today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, America is not that much of a powerhouse. I mean, it's a powerhouse, but you know, it's not as big as it was like in World War II era. But Africa would have been that country.
That nigga.
Yeah, black people would have been.
Bitch.
Black people would have been up there.
Savage, bougie, ratchet, and classy.
Hey man, get the hell out of here. But that's what I'm saying, bro. That's how I feel like I would see it playing out. Like Africa would have the money, be able to buy what they needed, teach themselves. But at the same time, Africa is so big, corruption probably would have still, because Africa is big in corruption right now. So I think they would have hindered themselves from blowing up.
So you're trying to say we're always going to self-destruct
as a people? Nah. I feel like once we get the hang of things, we won't self-destruct. But you know, history always repeats itself. Like how many great empires was built, and then people were like, you know what? Let's mess this up some way. Let's give it to the hierarchy. Let's give the ruling position to somebody who's not fit to do it.
Exactly. Donald Trump ass nigga.
Donald Trump. But it's like it always happens, and then the empire falls, and then people's like, "Why the empire? Why would they do that? Why would they give it to somebody like
ass, inside ass nigga to be fucking shit up for everybody? Takes one bad apple. I see you, Miss McCrae, teaching us that shit in 4th grade. I see you.
I guess shout out to Miss McCrae, whoever that is. But yeah, but I felt like we had a good topic today, you know. You took it more personal. I took it more actual historical.
Mm-hmm.
But we both got our points across. If y'all feel some type of way about what we said, either about the personal stuff or the historical stuff, I mean, I know y'all Africans gonna be like, you want to argue, you can argue with us in the comments, you know? Just let us know, and we'll answer your questions in the next
First
podcast.
of all, nigga, what the fuck was that?
That's
nigga?
how Africans be, bro.
Nigga.
It's like
What the hell, son?
you're like the Tasmanian devil, bro.
Nah, fuck you, you fucking cinnamon ass nigga.
The disrespect.
Always bullying Apple. What the fuck is his name? Apple?
Cinnamon.
No, Apple.
Yeah, his name was Apple.
How they gonna have this regular ass name for Apple? Niggas ain't shit.
Alright, bro. Whatever, dog. Alright, we'll catch y'all later, bro.